So the other day, I was just thinking about some of the old teachers I've had back when I was in elementary school. In sixth grade, I had a math teacher named Mr. Seeley. Mr. Seeley was a shorter man. He was maybe in his mid 40s, maybe 50 years old. And he had squinty little eyes. He had shifty, squinty, shady little eyes. It made him look like a shady little man. And he would sneer. He had a constant sneer on his face, and that's exactly the kind of man he was. He was a sneering, shady, shifty little man. And then I don't even remember his teaching skills in math. The only thing I remember about him was that he was an ignorant, rude SOB. He would he would make jokes, and he would make racial jokes and gender-based jokes. Very, very offensive humor. Some days would go by, and mercifully, we would not be subject to his jokes. But many days he would make these jokes, and there was a girl, last name Verbinski. And now keep in mind, we're 11 or 12 years old, this being 12th grade and all. And Mr. Seeley would often, being, of course, aware of her cultural background, he would make jokes against the Polish people. I don't know, he would, how many Polish-oriented people does it take to screw in a light bulb? And he would use the offensive term for Polish person, which I'm not going to repeat here, out of common decency. And so Mr. Seeley would do this, and he would many times, many different days, he would do these jokes at her expense, and he would look directly at her. And she would get so upset that she was in tears, just crying and bawling, and just distraught. He was awful, and he would do, like I said, he would do this day after day. And then he would have a lot of foul jokes about women. He would never make jokes about men. It was always about women, and the girls, you could hear him huffing and puffing, and some of them sniffing and sobbing and just on the verge of tears with his ignorant jokes. And I had a little African American friend back then. His name was Donnie, and I sat next to him in that class. And one day, Mr. Seeley made another Polish-oriented joke, again at the girl, Miss Verbinski's, the girl's expense, and had her crying. And Donnie stood up and pointed at that man. And he said, oh my God, he said the rambling at things that I can't repeat. And something else I'd forgotten to mention too, Mr. Seeley would often use quite a bit of profanity, the S word and F word, and a great many four-letter words in the course of his joke telling. And Donnie said, you MFer, don't you effing ever do that to her again. You're an SOB, schlocky, crappy, turkey-butted ignoramus. He used a lot stronger language than that, my friend did. And Mr. Seeley just looked back at him with those little slit, sneaky, shady eyes, and just looked at him, and he just said, "You are a MFer, effer, and an enner," and all these rotten things to him, which I cannot even repeat. And this was a teacher in elementary school, and teaching children who were only 12 years old or so. Yeah, so like I said, that was sixth grade, and for me that would have been about, let's see, born in 67, 12 years old, 79. That would have been about 1979 that this foul-mouthed SOB was mouthing off students all the time. in the 6th grade math class. And today, today, man, he would never get away with that. One little word out of his mouth, out of the hundreds and thousands of the curses of profanity put against us. One little word like that, one little innuendo against any single student, and he would have his neck wrung by administration and put in his place by the faculty staff. And the corporate structure would have him downcast and degraded. And if he did it a second time, he'd be out of there right quick. But back in 79, oh man, he got away with all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. Just disgusting. Well, that's my thought for the day. You have a good evening.